Hey guys, I'm out today. You guys know that, but you do have me through video. Awesome. First things first, I need you to complete this warm-up on a sheet of paper, and while you're working on that, please also get out your homework from last night. Please pause the video so that you have time to do this. When you're ready, you can start it again. Alright, we're going to go ahead and go over the warm-up. A submarine reported its depth below sea level on the hour. Which list shows the submarine's depths in order from deepest to shallowest? If we have a number line, these are best solved using a vertical number line. Okay, here is 0. This is what we consider sea level. So below sea level would be our negative numbers. And remember that as you go down, the numbers get greater, like such. So we want to go from deepest to shallowest. In this case, we need to take these 4 numbers right here and order them on our number line. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in. So I'm going to start with 21.5. That would be like right here. 19.8 and a negative. Negative 28.2. And negative 30.1. And I realize those are probably not to scale, meaning they're not perfect, but at least I'm using my number line to help me. Remember, that's something that we agreed to do on our warm-up, so is use a number line and make sure everything is decimals. They're already all decimals. So now I need to go to my deepest and look from deepest to shallowest. Once we have the number line, this is really easy. I need 30.1, 28.2, 21.5, and then 19.8, all with negatives. That makes the correct answer D. If you have any questions about this warm-up, I will be back on Monday, so you can ask me then. All right, let's go ahead and look at our homework. Please get your homework out while I am shifting gears. On your homework, it asked you to line up the decimals or to use a number line. These are the same 4 numbers written over and over again. So I'm going to go ahead and write them and line up my decimal. I'm also going to add zeros so I even out my decimal places. And it says that Brandon recorded the number of miles on the odometer of his car at the end of every month. Which of the following could represent his recordings from the 1st month to the 4th month? You may not know what an odometer is, but that's what calculates how many miles you drive, and it's like a running total. So these need to be in order from least to greatest, because you're not going to go backwards, you're only going to go forwards in the amount of miles. So I'm going to start in my greatest value place here, which is the thousands, and my least would be this one, because it's a 1 and these are all 2s. Now I go here and these are all 2s, so I need to go to my hundreds place, and I put these in order from least to greatest. And so my answer was actually A, the one I did. I used A to put them in order, but it actually ended up also being my answer. Let's look at number 2. It says, which group of numbers is in order from least to greatest? Again, I'm going to ask you to put the numbers in order, and I realized this one asked for different numbers. Okay, I'm starting on A. These are all the same, so I scoot here. Least to greatest would mean that this one would need to be first. A is incorrect. And I went ahead and added zeros as I went. Those are all 3s. I'm looking for my least. Has to be one of these 2. It would be this one, so that is incorrect. set up my next one. Those are all zeros. This would be first. And I come here, those are the same, those are the same. Then I come to this thousandth spot. And in fact, C is in order from least to greatest. Just to make sure, I'm going to go ahead and write these down. We're all able to make mistakes. So I come over here and look for my least. That is my least. The 0 and the 0. This is a 0 and this is a 1. That makes this second and this third obviously not in order, so D is incorrect. Number 3, Cody went to 4 track meets this season and improved her race time at each meet. That means that she got faster. So our times should get smaller as we go. So I'm going to start with A and write out my numbers. You'll notice that these are the same numbers in each problem, or in each choice, I should say. So I'm actually looking for greatest to least, okay, because it's from the first track meet to the last. So I don't have to even out any of the places, but I'm looking for the greatest number. These are all 2s. So I come down here and I know it has to be between my 8s. I scoot over, these are both 1. So now I need to decide is 9 or 8 greater, and that would be 9. Then I come back up here, and the rest of this is easy because 7 is greater than 6. So I need to find the answer where I have 28.198. These are both wrong. And then I look at C and D, and only C has that first, this second, this third, and this fourth. Our last problem on here is easily solved with a number line. Remember that numbers to the left are always less than numbers to the right. So that makes that sign true. Hopefully you got 100 on this paper. You may recycle it at the end of class if you would like. There will be a quiz on Friday with problems similar to this. Now we're going to look at percents. And I'm going to have y'all go ahead and pass out this foldable. You'll take it and fold it this way. Fold it in half. Please pause the camera while you pause the video while you pass it out. And when you're ready, we'll get started. Okay, so first things first, my copy is kind of cut off, so I'm going to add in the H and make that T finished so that it says hint right here, and try it out instead of riot. So we're going to talk about finding percents. Since a percent is a ratio, this is important, a ratio, which means it can be used to find, can be used as a fraction form. Problems involving percent can be used by using a proportion, can be solved that way. There are different possibilities for an unknown quantity when you work with proportions. We've talked about that. Sometimes if you think back to the shadow problems, we solve for a shadow, we solve for a height. So that is different. But there is one proportion that works for all of them. Okay? In this case, we have some number, the symbol number, over 100, and the is number and the of number. And we'll work on what that means in just a moment. But this is going to work continuously with all the problems we do for percent. So to find the percent one number is of another number, you'll have questions like, what percent of 150 is 60? So to solve that, we know that the percent is the unknown, and of means to multiply, so we're going to times by 150, and that equals to 60. That, I hope, will help you try and figure out how you could solve it. We also can use our proportions. What percent of 80 is 16? The symbol number in this case would be our x, what we don't know, over 100. The percent out of 100. Remember that percent actually means per 100. Then the is number goes on top, so is 16, and the of number goes on bottom, of 80. You'll see how that comes out here, of 80 is 16. So the is number goes on top and the of number goes down below. To solve, you're going to cross multiply and divide. So 16 times 100 and then divide by 80. So 16 is actually 20% of 80 because you have 20 over 100 and that percent is in fact 20%, 20 per 100. So let's practice a few problems here. What percent of 64 is 16? Remember that 64 is the of number, that's the total, just like 100 is the total. The percent that we're looking for is 16. So we're going to put 16 because that's our is number on top, and our of number is down below because the of is again the total and the 16 is the part. To solve this, we're going to cross multiply and divide. So I cross multiply 16 times 100 and then divide by 64. So I have 1600 divided by 64. Please pause the video while you determine what 1600 divided by 64 is. All right, hopefully you found that x is equal to 25, which in this case is the percent, 25%. Okay, let's look at number 2. Number 2 says, what percent of 200 is 150? So I have x over 100 is equal to 150 over 200. That's the total amount, 200, and 150 is the part of the whole that we're looking for. So to solve, we're going to cross multiply 150 times 100 and divide that by 200. I add 3 zeros at the end, and I am dividing 15,000 by 200. Please pause while you divide. And the correct answer is that x is equal to 75, or in this case, 75%. We're going to go ahead and open up our foldable now. And now we're going to work on finding percents of a number. We have actually done this with sales tax, but now you're going to see how to use a proportion. What number is 25% of 32? These are the type of problems you're going to see. So we know that S equals 25% times 32. This is how we solved it when we did sales tax. And if you look, it's still up there. We did percent offs as well. We found a percent of a number. So now we're going to look at solving it using a proportion. What is 20% of 80? So this time we have our percent, so we write 20 over 100, that's how you write percent, is equal to x over 80. You're still going to cross multiply and divide. So I multiply 80 times 20, which is 1600, and then divide by 100. The answer is 16. So 20% of 80 is 16. Let's try another one very quickly. We have 30% of 150. Okay, so to do this, we're going to cross multiply. We need to cross multiply 150 times 30. And that is equal to 100x. So then we'll divide by 100. So I get 4,500 divided by 100, which should be pretty easy. Please solve for x. Pause the camera while you solve for x. And so x equals 45. Let's try one more. This time it wants to know what is 75% of 205. So obviously 75 goes here and our 205 goes here. 75 over 100 equals x over 205. We're looking for what is 75% of that. So I'm going to cross multiply. And I'll do 75 times 205 and then divide by 100. 75 times 205, please solve for that now. Pause the camera while you do so. $75 times 105 is 15,375. Then you'll divide by 100. In which case, a strategy for that is to just move the decimal point 2 to the left. So x is equal to 153.75. Remember, you can also solve these by multiplying by the percent. Either way will get you the correct answer. You are now going to work on this assignment. You may work together in groups. This assignment right here. It has 17 problems. What you don't finish is your homework. I'll see y'all tomorrow.